Who's this? Oh, you're an entrepreneur? Oh, you're a real estate investor. Oh, you're trying to learn from those who did it. Well, come into the lab then. Put your white coat on, gloves on, notepad, and let's build, y'all.
Experimentation, what is going on? Ruben here, your host. And this episode is brought to you by investortalent.com, which is our company that helps real estate thought leaders like yourself launch your podcast and leverage any existing video content to repurpose it on multiple social media platforms. You can check us out at investortalent.com. But today's episode is about the power and strategic branding, right? Strategic branding for real estate investors, for real estate professionals. I have a pleasure of having multiple guests come into our lab respectively. And one of the topics that comes to mind that I truly believe we should all pay attention to is the respective verticals within real estate and how you can build a brand around what it is that you're doing. So what do I mean by that? I mean that, when we started the experimentation was to really unwrap or unfold the multiple verticals that exist within real estate, right? There's multifamily, there's fix and flips, there's flipping notes, there's buying land. The list goes on and on. Short-term rentals, which is the space that we're in. And one thing I've been able to really appreciate from close and from afar, close because we serve an agency that serves real estate investors, real estate thought leaders, and we're able to see the ones who gain the most traction. And I have to say that the best thing you can do for your brand to separate yourself from the pack is to be very niched, right? Niche down and make it very clear to the marketplaces who it is that you're serving. So for us, for example, this podcast is brought to you by investortalent.com. We only work with real estate investors who are looking to build a brand, not real estate agents, not mortgage brokers, real estate investors. So if you're on the likes of, the big players out there who are doing it or trying to raise capital, that's who we serve. Now ourselves, for our niche, we're in the short-term rental space, which we've had a lot of people who we've served in that space as well, or we have a lot of people within that network. So it's really important that you identify as the go-to person in that space. It doesn't mean that you don't use other strategies, but it means that in the marketplace, people are going to know as the go-to person for XYZ. And this is important because when it comes to people referring you to others, the biggest mistake that I see people make when I get on calls, on the discovery calls, or if I'm consulting someone, it's that, well, I do a little bit of this and I do a little bit of that and I do a little bit of this and we also do this. No, it needs to be so clear that the person who is, when you're not in the room, they can be very clear on what it is that you do. We help we help real estate thought leaders launch their podcast and repurpose any of their content from it on multiple social media platforms. Very clear, straight to the point. It's very clear who the avatar is. It's really clear who we're serving. It's really clear the strategy that we're using. Just like when you get into the game and you want to identify yourself as a player of who you focus on, people want to serve everybody. Oh, we serve professionals, or we're looking for limited partners. But be clear, we work with IT professionals. We work with engineers who are looking to put their money to work into an asset that can increase in appreciation, get cash flow, and get the benefits of tax advantage. We work with mobile home park owners, mobile home park investors. We work with investors who are interested in investing in land in order to get more returns on their investment. I had a guy I was speaking to who literally is an assistant living, where he literally works in turnkey or I'm not gonna say turnkey. Actually, his whole operation was that he will help people invest into assisted living homes where he gets the permit from the government. He's able to get the assistance living homes. I think that's what they call it, like kind of senior housing, to get investors their high returns on that. That is very niched. And the thing is, the biggest drawback, the biggest limitation that we have with doing this is thinking that when we do that, we limit ourselves to other opportunities. But instead, what will happen is that people will resonate with what you do, and you will come to mind first when opportunity rises. And that is much more powerful than being a jack of all trades or being in a pool of a commodity where people don't even think of you at all. Because that is the reality. When you do everything, you will just blend in like everybody else. But when you really stand out, when you can really stand out from one person, you can really stand out for two people, then 20, then 200, 2,000, and the domino effect happens, because those people tell those other people, and now you're attracting a community that truly is bought into what you do. And because you're so hard to find, and because people are not willing to do the hard work up front and make that decision to be disciplined, to be very niched, you will always come to mind first. And when you come to mind first and you're a specialist, do specialists get paid more than generalists? Do specialists get more referrals than generalists? You can bet that they do. So think about that, keeping it short and sweet when it comes to your brand, when it comes to you trying to get into a space. How do you maximize and dominate that space, right? Do or you want to be in a blue ocean or a red ocean, right? I think there's the Blue Ocean Strategy is a good book, right? Which pool do you want to play in? Think about it for the sake of your own brand and the people that you are not serving by lacking to make that decision for you and your brand. With that said, if you're looking for help with your respective brand, if you're looking for omnipresence, this episode is brought to you by investedtalent.com, where you can make sure that you if you actually get on a discovery call with me or someone on my team to get your podcast started. We'll talk about how the power of a podcast for any brand. It does wonders, and it's as good as a tool as you use it. It's kind of like social media. People that social media. Well, social media can make you a lot of key connections, just like it can make you a lot of money, just like it can also waste you a lot of time if you don't use it right. So make sure that you're being very strategic in podcasting. That's what we specialize in. Make sure you go to investedtalent.com, book a discovery call. And if you heard it from this episode, make sure you drop Experiment Nation when you book a call, and make sure you get that discount in there as well. But it's important. This is a very important topic. Make sure you double down on, or at least reflect and then execute on what I just talked about as it relates to you and your brand. Just like that, we are out.